That's not true. That's not true. It's called being in the know. Having a pulse on things, put it that way. But no, I mean, obviously, been around a long time and know lots of people throughout the league and a lot of great relationships and, players talk amongst each other. And on top of that, a lot of the players I played with are now into the coaching and management side of things. So, I mean, the game usually comes full circle when you've been around for a little while. So, to answer your question, yeah, unbelievable offseason. We're excited as a group and everyone in the room. And at the end of the day, when your organization is aggressive and doing what they can from their side to give yourself a chance to win as a player, that motivates you. And at the end of the day, that's all you want is to be given an opportunity, and we have that.
How was today? It was your second training camp on a brunette that's notably very fast out there. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm still trying to catch my breath. I mean, I've been off the ice now for, 25 minutes or so. And yeah, it's the pace out there is, it's like that every year, but it seems to be faster and faster every year. And that's just a tribute to how good and fast, the young players and the next generation of guys are coming in and how good a shape everyone is and, how fast they are and how skilled. And yeah, it was really good pace out there. And, I was talking to one of our strength coaches, and we wear, chips, I guess, in our shoulder pads or, stuff like that. So it can tell you your workload and heart rate and intensity and all that sort of stuff. And he said even, similar practice to last year, but I think like a 20% more intensity with the same drill. So it's pretty impressive. And I think that goes hand in hand with us probably understanding Bruno a little bit more and what he wants out of us, and not just going over systems and drills, but the work that needs to go into them. So I think we have a better understanding of that. And day one out of the way, and I think we've talked about day at a time, and it's only going to get harder as we go.
Probably last year, I know that you kind of got hurt early last year when you first started off. How are you feeling from the last year start to maybe this year's start?
Yeah, I mean, last year was just admittedly a really tough transition. I didn't go the way I drew it up. As far as I think I felt better sort of the last half or stretch of games, I guess maybe the last 15, 20 games or so, and better in the playoffs. But I mean, when you come to a new organization and you end up having surgery out of the gates, it's not the way you draw it up, and it's no excuse. It just it took me a little while to kind of get going, and longer than I anticipated. And it's not like I hadn't played on other teams before, but for whatever reason, it was a bit of a transition. But I feel much better coming into this year, knowing what the expectation is, knowing people within the organization, and just have a much better sense of where we're at this year, and I feel good about things right now.
There are really high expectations for the team with all the off-season moves. As a veteran, what is your advice to some of the younger players who haven't maybe been through how hard a process it is to move?
Well, I mean, when you have expectations like that, it's it's almost like a privilege to have those, because you want that sort of pressure. If you have no pressure going into the year, it's you're not going to get any better, and it's not enjoyable as a professional athlete. So I think it's a good thing to have expectations. And in saying that, like I talked about earlier, I'm around a lot of guys on other teams throughout the summer, just with training and skating, where I am in the summertime, and have a lot of good buddies around the league. And I think everyone has been saying the same thing as, you guys had a really good off season, and the expectations are different, not only for ourselves, but I think we more have a target on us when teams come into our building or when we play other teams. Teams are now, not that they took us lightly before, but it's just a different set of expectations, and the bar's raised. And, like I said, when you have more veteran players and you have a free agency like that, and you have, a group of guys who has high expectations, the bar is raised, and we're grateful for the opportunity we have.
The addition of Brady Shea, and the subtraction of Ryman kind of mixes up the blue line a little bit. What do you see Shea bringing to defensive coordinator and how do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously had a really good career. He played real well even back when he was with the Rangers. Was part of a really good Carolina Hurricane blue line over the last number of years. Always at the top of the league in terms of the standings, and he's a top 4 defenseman that plays a lot of minutes. He can contribute offensively. Obviously, had a good year as far as in terms of putting the puck in the back of the net this year. But he's also just good in overall every situation, I think, and a guy who's reliable and another veteran guy, and we're happy to have him. And it's tough losing a guy obviously like McDonough, but in saying that, I think Brady Shea's had a great career, and he's gonna do great here as well.
The way you guys played towards the end of last year, the point streak, making the playoffs, how much you use yourself that make it? Maybe you're talking to a guy like Steven Stamkos and trying to get him to come.
Sorry, what was the first part?
I guess the way you guys played last year.
Yeah.
How much you use yourself that make it?
Well, I mean, I think people throughout the league took notice when you put together a win streak like that. You can have a little streak and say it could be luck or you got some good bounces or breaks, but when you put together a long streak like that, I think we had a couple of them last year. A couple of streaks. I think people definitely take notice that kind of building something here, but not only just a win streak, but I think in terms of how hard we play, I think people kind of notice that. So, as far as Stammer, I mean, it's not selling him to come here, nothing like that. You just kind of give him the facts and let him make his own decision, and you don't want to sugarcoat anything and sell something that's not true. You're honest in terms of your opinion of what your teammates are all about, what the organization's about, the coaching staff, everything, and living in Nashville and just the whole package. I mean, when a guy's been with one organization that long and been a captain and had a Hall of Fame career and won cups, it's not an easy transition. So you give him the facts and you don't tell him anything that's leading him in the wrong direction. You give him the facts and let him make his own decision. And fortunate for us and for the Predators, and personally as a buddy, couldn't be more excited.
Thanks, Luke.
All right.
We'll have Coach up next.